Peace family, Tiffany Hills popping in with a video. Now y'all see my falcon feather. This is the second falcon feather I have found. I found this one at a cemetery. You know, y'all watch Tiffany Messenger. My favorite place in the world is cemeteries, beautiful cemeteries. So I was driving, me and Blue was driving through our favorite cemetery, and I've seen this on the ground. I'm like, what the hell? So yes, so have an important message, important channel, really. So shout out to Radiant Rose, who left a comment saying, is anybody picking up any channels from Aaliyah and Michael Jackson? So I was like, what were the channels? And so she said Aaliyah was kind of coming through, having something to do with segment, and she had to really sit with the energy. So I was just, you know, chilling. So Krishna had came through, and I was like, okay, Krishna represents Hindu God, represents love, tenderness, protection, and compassion. I said, oh, okay. So, and I rolled past something and it said Tiffany Krishna. I said, okay, that was the message. So as I'm going on with my life, I come across, let me get my notes out because I got my notes. This channel is very, very important. I'm actually doing it in the rain. So I want to make sure I cover everything. So when Krishna came through, it was different because Krishna never came through. You know, Lakshmi and Ganesha always come through. Hanuman, those deities from the Hindu. So when Krishna came through, I was just kind of like, the way it came through was like a direct, like Tiffany, you know, look into this information. So when Radiant Rose came through with that, I was like, okay. So one day I'm sitting and I hear, I have a dream about Blue. So Blue just turned 4 years old. He's 4 today. So I had a dream that it was 4 Blues, like 4 dogs that look exactly like Blue. And so I had to call Blue's name to figure out, you know, which one was him. So he goes apart, and so it was another one named, I named him Chunk, trying to figure out how to name all the dogs. Well, Blue just turned 4 today, 4 representing the 4 elements, the 4 directions. 13 is the highest vibrational number. 1 + 3 is 4. So 13 and 4 are very connected. My BB Do left on 413. Very, very powerful vibration. So Blue, so I'm like, okay, so I'm paying attention to the dogs, like the dogs coming through. And so my niece had a dog in the same dream, and she named the dog Chicken. And so I woke up, I was like, okay, you know, decoding, just things are starting to add up. So one day I'm watching a video of this young man. Well, he's my age. And I'm subscribed to this channel called Coming Home. And so it talks about near-death experiences, which I started going into studying that after BB Do left. So in the video, it's this guy, black guy, and I seen the video came up into my feed. I said, oh, let me watch it when I get a minute. It said, anger killed me, something like that. So as I'm watching this, he's handsome. Ooh, he was very handsome. Watching this man, and so he starts saying that, start going into, you know, how he died on the operating table or in the emergency room, and he goes into, you know. So I was like, damn, he looks a lot like DMX. So I'm watching, and so then he says Trish. This girl named Trish. I said, oh shit, there it is. There's the Aaliyah connection, and it's DMX and Aaliyah. So, you know, Trish was the character Aaliyah played in Romeo Must Die. And, you know, DMX was in the movie as well. So I said, okay, but DMX was coming through more so than Aaliyah. It's like Aaliyah was like coming in to assist, like she opened the door. And so DMX started coming through heavy. So I'm like, he said, listen. So I'm listening to the young man, and I'm like, this is DMX. This is DMX message. So I will put the link to the video. Go and watch this video. This is DMX healed. Listen. It's DMX. It's DMX. So the message that he has was out of this world, phenomenal. As y'all know, DMX had a lot of issues, a lot of trauma, a lot of mad creative, just a beautiful storyteller. So when he came through as Krishna, in hindsight, he was coming through as Krishna, saying, you know, he was, you know, the god of his transformation. So one thing I've realized is when people come through with the channels, for me, it's when DMX passed, like with Michael Jackson, I was unbothered because it was like they had so much, they was going through so much that it was like they was relieved when they finally left here. That's how I felt with Michael Jackson and DMX. I wasn't bothered. You know what I'm saying? It was like they gone to a better place. They're good or whatever. So that's why it's easier to get channels when you're not sad or grieving or, you know, things of that nature, is because that's, you know, they're happy. So you'll hear this in this interview with this young man. So so I said, okay, let me get my pencil and paper. It's time to write down. So when he said Trish, Aaliyah was instrumental getting him through the other side, getting him to cross over so he can go into his transformations and be exalted. So in Romeo Must Die, he was saying, because they threw the brother out the window, which represented the bald head, but that was really DMX. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to kill DMX. DMX had the ability to heal. So with him choosing to go through all of this trauma, with the trauma with his mom and all these things, all this hurt he going through, trying to find balance, the trauma, what he was saying, the trauma is societal. Like we're going through all of this trauma with paying bills and anything that is causing stress, that is causing us to create patterns that help us lock us down, to keep creating in these loops. You know what I'm saying? We're not going outside of ourselves. We're not coming outside the box. We're conscious, but we're not willing to leave the trauma behind. We're not willing to cut it. We're not willing to go into these spaces and places in our hearts where this trauma must be healed. And what he was saying was, we have to be light as a feather in this life. Not crossing over when they weigh the heart. He said, before we die, we have to be light as a feather. Like right now, living this life, feather, light as a feather. Like let the trauma go. Face your fears. That's what the underworld was all about. So when he, in the song Damien, he said, the snake, the cat, the rat, the dog. How you gonna see him if you're living in the fog? The snake, the rat, the cat, the dog. How you gonna see him if you're living in the fog? So the snake represents Wajet. The cat represents Segment. The rat represents Ganesha, because Ganesha sits on 2 rats, the elephant deity that sits on 2 rats. And who is last name? The dog represents Anubis, right? All of these are underworld guides. So when he's saying, how you gonna see them when you living in the fog meaning trauma? How you gonna see your spirit guides? And we shy away from the underworld, because that's where our trauma is. So when you have those deities coming through, it's saying trauma needs to be healed. And the most powerful trauma is sexual trauma. Healing sexual trauma is very difficult because it leaves the strongest hold, it leaves the strongest guilt, it leaves the strongest shame, and it's hard to come out of creating in those patterns. And everything that you create, that when you define yourself, or it's a definitive act that happened in your life, that you just can't move past it, you push it down and you won't allow yourself to heal. And so he was saying that the trauma is causing, the trauma has to be healed in the heart. You know what I'm saying? He was saying that the heart is the third heart, which I've said before. He was saying the octopus has 3 hearts. So do we. You know what I'm saying? So he said it's the physical heart, it's the astral body heart, and it's the soul heart. And so in order for us, once we cross over, that soul heart will be active, because we won't have that trauma holding us here. The trauma is holding us here. And so the fog is the trauma. How you gonna see your guides when you can't see past your trauma? And he was the biggest, example of trauma, like with his mom. So Blue's birthday being today, he's a Cancer. He was saying, DMX was saying that the trauma, the dog represents mother energy. So he's a mother energy now, and he's that's why he came through as Krishna. It's compassion, protection, tenderness, and love, right? And so with the dog, he was saying the dog represents mother energy. And so what he said to do is get a dog, and he's saying spiritual. So this dog will be your fairy. And just like when one of my Tiffany Messenger, I gave the entity, not the entity, but the fairy Mufi, and she was an infant deity that laid on your heart and healed your heart. But this particular site, he said, get a dog, your dog fairy, and sit it on your heart. It's to heal all 3 hearts. So he said the physical heart, the astral body heart, and the soul heart, to heal this trauma, to help you. So these are our guides that he just gave us. Wajet. And the reason I say Segment over Bass with the cat is Segment came through more so than Bass with the cat, the lion. being the cat that he was referring to. So he was saying these are the guys that are helping us heal the trauma, all trauma. He said nothing can be left on the table. Nothing can be left on the table. So with him and Aaliyah, that like they're instrumental in helping us through this trauma. Aaliyah was saying that she was saying that her trauma was more so in childhood, and then how she was taken out, tortured. She said she was tortured. You know what I'm saying? So when they're very jealous of you, especially like Aaliyah stood in a league of her own. She was just so beautiful and comfortable, and you can just, you know, when you see her with animals and snakes and, you know, spiders, and she said she just wasn't afraid of those things. She gravitated more to the underworld, or under, you know, stuff that was just, you know, taboo, or she, you know, that was, you know, hawks and birds. That was her shit. You know what I'm saying? So they knew who she was, just like Minnie Riperton. So when they're jealous of you, they'll find some way to torture you, even when by the time you leave here, to fragment you. So when you crossing over, you won't be able to put yourself back together, and that's what they're doing. Trauma. So it's raining, y'all. So the trees, let me show y'all the trees that's protecting me. These are the trees that are allowing me to stay dry, to get this message out. So he was saying, yes, your heart, the trauma is societal. Everybody has trauma, is what he's saying. Nobody is saying, oh, you know what I mean? He said, even the scripture where it says even the very elect will be deceived. And what he was saying, like, they would be deceived in thinking that they're healed and they're good and they're, you know what I'm saying, when they still have trauma to heal. You know what I'm saying? So let me look at my notes so I can make sure I get everything, because it's going to be definitely be a part two. And what he was saying, the trauma lives in the emotional body, which I've been saying forever. I'm so glad I get all this confirmation. The emotional body holds trauma. The emotional body must be emancipated. The way to emancipate yourself from the emotional body is to heal it. So when we're walking in love, we're lighter. You know what I'm saying? We're letting go of these bags. We're forgiving. You know what I'm saying? We're, confronting people in our lives who are taking our light, taking our inheritance. We are having conversations with these elders and saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? This happened to me as a child. I feel like, you know, this was unfair. We can have a conversation and we can still be respectful. You know what I'm saying? But these things have to be brought to the light, and you're feeling lighter, which means you're creating in a way that is unlimited. You're creating more spiritual, and from a spiritual place, and not so much in the material world. You see what I'm saying? So in that, you're lighter. He said we got to be light as a feather now. So, you know, you get your dog, you name your dog. You put the dog on your heart. The dog goes with you everywhere. And so when you go into your meditations, you have your dog on your heart. Remember, it's mother energy loving on you, hugging on you, you know, telling you you're worth it, affirming you, you know what I'm saying, validating your presence in this world. So this is why I'm saying, being out in nature, I'm able to pick up like this, because I am connected to the trees, to the grass, to the animals, to the whole ecosystem. The whole point is to balance the ecosystem. Balancing the ecosystem is balancing the masculine and feminine polarities in us all. So yeah, let me go down to make sure I got everything in order. He also said, listen to the song Slippin'. That was like one of his more laid back, chill songs. You know, he was always out. You know what I'm saying? So he told me to tell the story when I met him. So I was working at for Northwest Airlines when I was pretty much new. I was probably there maybe 3-4 years. I forget what year this was, but DMX was new on the scene. And so it was a girl named Tiffany I worked with. And so she come rushing downstairs. And so we worked downstairs, which is the underground. Anything underground is the underworld, represents the underworld. Basements, underworld. You know what I mean? So she came rushing downstairs. She's like, DMX upstairs. And so the guys like, so, you know what I mean? The guys get real like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I love DMX. At that time, I was listening to DMX hard. So I'll go upstairs with her, and she's like all in his face. Like, he's my height. Like, he's like a Elzai. Like, he's a short cat. And so, and I'm 5'2". He got to be like 5'5" maybe. And so it was just him and 2 other guys, no security or anything like that. But he was so on edge and so uncomfortable. So Tiffany was like all in his space, like, can I get your autograph? She all on his, you know, all up in his personal space. And he's like, damn, you don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? He was like, back up. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, just off to the side, I was just waiting. I said, so I went up to him and I was like, we appreciate your music. Just keep coming with the real shit. We appreciate you. And he like, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't crazy too, right? He was just so on edge, so on the, and I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like I wasn't really being myself. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like I was just, too in awe of him. And I wasn't really happy with that meeting. But he told me he never forgot me. He said he never forgot that. So as he's coming through with this channel, he was saying that, the whole point of this is to heal trauma, release trauma, worrying about bills, stressing over bills, to the point because we've created this whole system. Why do you think with black people we think everybody hate us, and like it's just like Detroit versus everybody, right? Y'all heard that saying. Why do we think we so hated? You know what I'm saying? Because we could have ended this shit a long time ago. This is our shit. We could have ended this shit a long time ago, but we over here and we got this group over here. We got all this separatism going on, and we could have ended this shit a long time ago. We could have ended this misery a long fucking time ago. So now we have to focus on internal, healing our shit, creating spiritually, you know what I'm saying, to be directed as to what to do physically. Yeah. So I'm still looking down. Let me make sure I get everything. He said the heart is the gateway to the underworld. When you look at the heart, you got the 3 chakras, the 3 lower chakras, your solar plexus, sacral, and root. And then the heart, then you got your throat chakra, your pineal gland, and your crown chakra. So you got 3 up, 3 down. The heart is in the middle. He said the heart is the gateway to the underworld. And he's like, the underworld is not a bad place. When you go into the underworld, you're going in one way to transmute the energy to come out lighter. You see what I'm saying? You're not just, oh Lord, this is some dark energy, and you know what I mean? No, it's one of the best places to be. And it's crazy because a lot of us, we've been experiencing these initiations, not really realizing what's going on, because I told my sister, I said, I'm going to make a game room for my nephew so you can utilize the basement, so when his friends and stuff come over, by him being in high school, they can just go in the basement. The kitchen is close to the basement, so they can just get their little snacks and go down there and play and study whatever it is they do. I'm gonna hook it up. Oh, your girl get her design on, please and thank you. So I've been down there cleaning and mopping the floors, and just getting out all the previous energy from the previous owners on back just looking. I always pay attention to the grounds, because it's not so much the house, it's more so the grounds, clearing the energy of the grounds. So I was like, oh my shoot, I'm down here doing underworld work. You know what I'm saying? So I was just going through certain things with the family in my heart. Certain things I had certain things I have to let go. Certain people I have to let go. Create healthy boundaries around myself and heal. You know what I'm saying? So I spent some time with my mom yesterday. And that was very healing to me. And so with this whole mother energy, you know what I'm saying? He's like, tap into Krishna, Wajet, Sekhmet, Ganesha is the opener of the way. Just like Anubis, remover of obstacles, opener of the way. So since we're healing this trauma, we're healing timelines. We're not creating in loops anymore. So once we come out of these loops, what we're able to create is infinite. What we're able to create is limitless. You see what I'm saying? What we're able to do is we're unstoppable at this point. Keeping an eye on the dogs, because Blue will go crazy. Want to be friends with the dogs. It's infinite what we can create. So that's what he was saying. The heart is the gateway to the underworld, but you want to be light as a feather now. Do what it is that you need to do. If you need assistance, family, reach out and get assistance. And I'm saying this to those who are the adepts, those who feel like they've been in it for a while and they don't need nobody. I got this. And it's like, nope, it's something deeper that you just need guidance. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to the veterans. I'm talking to people who just got in this. If you need help, reach out and get help. It's so many resources out here. It's so many gifted readers and teachers and scholars. It's too much for you to be suffering. Seriously, get over yourself. You know what I'm saying? And get the help that you need. Get the guidance you need so that you can create what it is you're supposed to be creating, because we're all connected. We all got a link in this chain, fam. We all got a link in this chain. Let's see what else is here. Third heart. And so Radiant Rose was saying, she said, Aaliyah's song 1 in a Million had a lot to do with her channel. And what I picked up was 1 in a Million, and she was saying that in the heart, in the heart, we have a million upon millions of legions of soldiers fighting for, in the spirit realm, fighting those lower level entities and energies, whatever it is that we cannot see. But we have millions fighting for us to get to this third heart. Do the totem on the octopus, and get into the third hearts. All 3 hearts are important. They said watch their video, Back in One Piece. If you see their chemistry, DMX and Aaliyah's chemistry in this video was just, they were so comfortable with each other, and that's big for how when I met DMX, how guarded he was. I'm not saying, he meeting a stranger, but their chemistry, like Aaliyah was just, that's my boo. I just love my Lily. Their chemistry was just perfect. It's like, this is my boy. You know what I'm saying? She's sitting in between his legs, and you know what I'm saying? It was like, I pick up a, like, not a lover energy. It's more like brother, sister, best friend type energy. So she was instrumental on helping him cross to the other side. But there's going to be more information coming forward with this particular channel, because he's still coming through. But what he is saying is, emancipate yourself from the emotional body. See, the emotional body, people keep saying the emotions is good, but not when they're ruling you. You should have control over your emotions to the point where you can supersede the 5 senses and go into your superpowers. Point blank, period. So when you emancipate yourself from the emotional body, you are no longer a prisoner of this matrix, because they get you on those 5 senses. You heal them. You're able to do this. And it's simply by being outside. And so now, as above, so below, when he's saying, how you gonna see them when you're living in the fog? It's all this haze. You know what I'm saying? They're creating this haze. But get your ass outside. I don't care. The air quality is terrible. Get your ass outside. Get this energy. It's yours. Point blank, period. All right, y'all. Until the next video, like I said, he's still coming through. You can contact me at tiffany'sloveheals@gmail.com, which will be in the description box as always. The podcast information is in the description box as always. I will be uploading some new podcasts, as well as uploading some old ones that are still relevant. So your fairy readings, your spiritual consultations, your dream interpretations, and your tailor-made inspirational voice notes, as well as your fairy dust. I hope y'all having a phenomenal day. And yes, family, we on this, and we got this. Like I said in the beginning of the video, shout out to Radiant Rose. I still want to know your channels, boo. We all the family. Come on through with it. Get you a YouTube channel so we can hear what you got to say. Love y'all. Peace.